Hi, Mera. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Hello, Zunzi.
Hello.
Wow. And Satara, hello. Hi, Shivani. Who do I have to give for recording?
Shanti. Shanti.
She here?
Let's see. I haven't seen her yet.
No. Hi, Jennifer. Hello, Mutsu, Maureen, Lynn, Satya. Hi, Satya. Hello.
Shanti is here now.
Okay. Just check. Did she get the recording? Yeah, you got it?
试一下看呢。
Hmm?
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Now we have started the interpretation. Hello, everybody. And just going to share. So welcome, everybody. Today we are talking lesson 10 and the bhavas, the houses, part 1. And this is me in London at the British Museum. And they have the Navagrahas here, all the different Navagrahas. This one just behind me is Jupiter. And actually this year I went to Odisha, and in Odisha they have the original ones. Now these were stolen from Odisha, but they made a new ones exactly like these. So it was quite interesting to see them. So let us begin with the chanting. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Param Brahman Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Brahma Murari Sripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Budhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Ketava Sarve Graha Shanti Bhavo. Om Dati Shankatushārabham Shirodaranavasambhavam Namami Shashinam Somam Shambho Mukatabhushanam. So today we are doing the Mangalam Nama Mantra, and here it is. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. So you can chant it 3, 12, 108 times. That it's up to you, depending on, if you just want to do it like on Tuesday a few times, or you as part of your other spiritual practice, or you want to do it on its own. So also I'd like to tell you about the India temple trip we are doing next year, the 27 nakshatras. Temples. We haven't studied the nakshatras as yet. They are going to come in a few weeks' time. And this trip is January 24th to February 9th, 2024. It's always very fascinating. We are going to visit the 27 nakshatra temples, but a lot of other temples as well alongside with it. And there's a good hotel accommodation, very good organization. Even though I say it myself, I have very good people organizing for me in India, so they really take care of us. And so you can look up the program. And of course, I'm an expert on temples, planetary temples, South India, especially in Tamil Nadu, where this trip is. So I hope some of you can join. And so actually, Muthu, we are going to come to Madurai as part of the trip. So most probably we'll see you there.
Yes, I'm happy to see you all.
Yeah, we are going to be there. You can look up the dates on my website, but
Oh,
Indian Panorama is organizing it. But be
yes, I
nice.
know that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And so Muthu is from Madurai, so that's one of the places we are going to. It's lovely. So today we are doing the bhavas, the houses, and the study chart is Barack Obama. So you see, now you can also personally start looking at charts. You can look at friends, family, and then some celebrity charts, because the advantage of looking at the celebrity chart, you're not emotionally involved with them, so you can look at their chart and see what are you seeing. The advantage of looking at friends and families, you know them, so therefore if you are seeing something, you can understand what it is. So with this, now we will be looking at a few charts, and this is Barack Obama's chart, and we shall discuss it in a minute in detail for this today. So Bhava Chakra. Bhava means expression as well as division. Chakra means a wheel. Bhava Chakra is our natal chart and expression of our life through the wheel of time. Bhava Chakra is 360 degrees, is divided into 12 houses or bhavas. The Rashi Chakra, the zodiac, divides the 360-degree zodiac into 12 divisions. It is Bhava Chakra that reveals how Rashi connects to the individual. You see, so far we've been looking at just planets and signs. We've looked at your chart, but really how it maps into your life, you have to know the Bhava Chakra. Bhava is a house or a specific area of life. Bhavas show how we deal with the various aspects of life. So there are 12 bhavas or 12 houses. Bhava versus Rashi. Rashi or signs are fixed 12-fold division of the zodiac. They are always the same. Bhava or houses are also 12-fold divisions that show how the Rashi expresses themselves in an individual life. Which Rashi rules the Bhava varies according to the time of birth. The classical Bhava that is used in Vedic in Jyotish is Rashi based, and this divides the zodiac into 30-degree segments similar to the Rashi. There are other ways to divide the zodiac in different house systems that will be studied in advanced courses. Each bhava will reflect a Rashi. Its planetary ruler becomes the Bhava Lord. If Aries rules a particular Bhava, then Mars becomes the Bhava Lord. Its position, aspects to it, strengths, weaknesses will have an influence on working of the house and its signification. So what are the strengths or weaknesses of a planet? You see, we studied a planet being in a exalted, debilitated, own sign, friends, enemy. Plus a planet can also be in a difficult position because it is with another planet. So for example, if moon is with Saturn, or a planet is with Rahu or Ketu, or it is in a difficult house position. So each bhava has a Karaka planet. Karakas are significators that activate the chart. For each bhava, there is the Rashi, the planetary lord, and the Karaka of the bhava. So you see that each bhava has this extra aspect. Planets influence the bhava by being the rulers of the Rashi that is in the bhava, by being the Karaka of the bhava, by being placed in the bhava. So there are three ways the planet can influence one's bhava or one house. Bhavas are known as first house, second house, and so on. While the bhavas express many different aspects, each bhava has one primary role, and its Sanskrit name tells of the basic quality and purpose of the house. So these are the Sanskrit names for each of the houses. Tanu Bhava, first house. It is also called Lagna and the ascendant. Its primary quality is self. Dhana Bhava, second house, wealth. Bhratru Bhava, third house, brothers, siblings. Matri Bhava, fourth house, mother. Putra Bhava, fifth house, son, children. Ari Bhava, sixth house, enemy. Jaya Bhava, seventh house, wife, husband. You could say marriage. Ayu Bhava, eighth house, age, longevity. Dharma Bhava, ninth house, spirituality. Karma Bhava, 10th house, action, work. Labha Bhava, 11th house, profit. Vyaya Bhava, 12th house, expenses and loss. Over the next 3 weeks, today and 2 more weeks, we will go through each of the houses, and we will be looking at your charts as well. So then we come to the formats of the charts. There are many formats that are used to put the information in a chart form. Data does not change, but the way the charts are presented differs from state to state. The most popular ones are the North Indian and the South Indian. So this is the North Indian chart. It is house-based, which means that the ascendant is always here in the center. And then the subsequent houses are anti-clockwise. So if this is Tanu Bhava, ascendant, first house, this is second house, Dhana Bhava, third house, Bhratri, fourth house, Matri, fifth house, Putra, sixth house, Ari, seventh house, Jaya, eighth house, Ayu, ninth house, Dharma, 10th house, Karma, 11th house, Labha, and 12th house, Vyaya. These houses are not changed. They are never given as number. House numbers are not given. Now, the South Indian chart is Rashi-based, sign-based. So there are 12 squares, as you can see, and this particular square here is always Aries. Then this is Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So when any planets that are there, they'll be put in these squares, and there's a diagonal line usually drawn for where the ascendant or lagna is. You would not see any other information. So now let us look at Barack Obama's chart. And here we see, we'll first look at the North Indian chart. So this is, you can see AS, ascendant. 10 number is here. So 10 number means Capricorn. There's no information that this is house 1. This is Capricorn. 2 Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, but these are the houses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you see 7th house, you know it's 7th house because it's this square. 4 is saying it is the is Cancer, the 4th sign. Now here, if we go to the South Indian chart, what you see here is that you can see, I don't know, little line here, diagonal line. Also, it says ascendant. So this is the ascendant. And then you can, but that's Capricorn. And then the second house is Aquarius, third house is Pisces, fourth house is Aries, fifth house is Taurus, and so on. So in the software, if you have Sri Jyoti Star, I couldn't work out what to do with, one sec. So here in the South Indian chart, if you put house numbers, it gives you South, actually it was somewhere I did, yeah. Yeah, here chart, South house numbers, and here you can add extra information. I don't add it, but here we can see now, let's get Barack Obama's chart here. So you can see here 1 Capricorn, ascendant, Saturn, Jupiter is placed there. 2 Aquarius. So this gives you the house numbers. Let me see here whether I can do chart north. No, in the north I can't add. So only in the south I can add. But I don't like that because that is not traditional. But you guys can always do this. And I'm going to ask Andrew how to put the numbers in the south, north. So maybe I'll show you later. But if it helps you, then you can put that in the chart. So here we see numbers. Yeah. So south house numbers from Lagna, etc. I'm going to remove it now because see, now we don't have any of those. So you can have a support which tells you what to do. And so you see, normally where you come from or what your first teacher taught you, that is what you learn to look at those charts. So for example, I was brought up, my Guruji was looking at North Indian chart, so I only looked at North Indian chart. It's later I started studying the South Indian chart when I was doing my own study. So people who are used to one system, it's quicker for them to see. So for all my classes, I always have the North and the South Indian chart for you. So now the Karaka means the significator. All houses have planets which signify them. Karakas assume great importance in assessing the quality of the house. So now each of the houses has one specific Karaka. And Tanu Bhava, Sun, Dhana Bhava, Jupiter. So this is the numbers of the houses. Tanu Bhava is the first house, Sun is the Karaka. Dhana Bhava, second house, Jupiter is the Karaka. Bhratru Bhava, third house, Mars is the Karaka. Fourth house, Matri Bhava, Moon is the Karaka. Fifth house, Putra Bhava, Jupiter is the Karaka. Sixth house, Ari Bhava, Saturn, Mars are the Karakas. Seventh house, Jaya Bhava, Venus is the Karaka. Eighth house, Ayu Bhava, Saturn is the Karaka. Ninth house, Dharma Bhava, Jupiter is the Karaka. 10th house, Karma Bhava, Mercury is the Karaka. 11th house, Labha Bhava, Jupiter is the Karaka. 12th house, Vyaya Bhava, Saturn is the Karaka. So when you're looking at the Karaka, you see that Jupiter, Saturn assume greater importance as they are Karakas for many of the Bhavas. Jupiter reflecting the pleasures while Saturn the restrictions. Other planets can be Karakas for houses. The ones given above are primary. So here what you see is Dhana Bhava, wealth, Jupiter. Putra Bhava, children, Jupiter is the Karaka. Dharma Bhava, Jupiter is the Karaka, and Labha, profit, is Jupiter is the Karaka. And the difficult houses in the chart, Ari Bhava, 6th house, Saturn is Karaka. Ayu Bhava, 8th house, Saturn is Karaka. 8th house is also one of the difficult houses. And Vyaya Bhava, loss, house of loss, Saturn is the Karaka. So you see that these two planets, they become very important when you're looking at Karakas. So very often astrologers will study Jupiter, Saturn first in the chart just to see what is its strength and quality. So what each bhava represents, it represents the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of the soul. It rules certain parts of the body and one of the purusharth or the four aims of life. You see, each house, the whole body is reflected through the astrology chart. And therefore, when you're studying Ayurveda or medical astrology, or if you have any problem, then you know which house that problem is related to. And Purushartha, Purusha means man, Artha, means meaning or essence. And we studied the Purusharth, I think lesson 1 or 2, very much early on. But here, now that we are coming into the houses, we need to know the Purusharth. There are 4 Purusharths, or 4 essence of life: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma's motivation is virtue, doing the right thing. Artha is wealth creation. Artha is also connected to politics, to, earning a living, not just creating money. Kama, motivation is pleasure. It deals with art of living, love, uh, creativity, ideas. Moksha, its motivation is liberation. So we have houses that are connected to the houses. So the Dharma houses are 1, 5, 9. Artha houses are 2, 6, 10. Kama houses are 3, 7, 11. And Moksha houses are 4, 8, and 12. You see, when we will study the houses independently, we will study this as well. So when we are going to be analyzing the houses, and I shall do that not just looking at Barack Obama's chart this week, next week we look at other charts. We want to see the Bhava sign and ruler. Placement of the Bhava ruler, its strength or weakness, Karaka. So this is very important, planet, how it is, what is its strength, the placement of the or its strength and weakness. So placement means, is the Bhava ruler placed in a good house or a negative house? Remember, there are some houses, their position is not very optimum. Then what is the strength weakness that you see from the exaltation, debilitation? There is one other factor that I should add to this, I think that is very important, is the conjunctions. So for example, the Bhava ruler is placed with Saturn or with Ketu or something. So that is also very important, and we will study that. Then the Karaka, this is a key planet that you study alongside. Then aspects to the Bhava and its rulers. Aspects were studied in lesson 3 and 4 on planets, but we will have a separate class. I'm actually introducing it, aspect class, into the beginners foundation course. We will study that later. Then planets placed in the Bhava. I put here conjunctions to the Bhava ruler, planets placed with the Bhava ruler. The thing is this, that when you're studying the chart, you can think of it like a house. If you own a house, but you're renting it out, if somebody is living in the house, so that what planet is placed there, sometimes you'll get a good tenant, sometimes you'll get not such a good tenant. So I was renting a place in my house, and those people really messed it up. So you could say that was not a good tenant. So similarly, planets, if they are placed in the houses, they can be good tenants or not such good tenants. Then the conjunctions to the Bhava ruler. So is there any house, any planet that is conjoins the Bhava ruler? Lots of things to consider, but these are simple factors. It becomes like just part of your analysis once you get. Then these are some advanced aspects: Lagna Nakshatra and its ruler, Navamsha Lagna and its ruler, Nakshatra position of the Bhava Lord, Navamsha position of the Bhava Lord. We will study Nakshatra Navamsha later in the foundation courses. Nakshatra is my temple trip this year. but we will study that later. We haven't done that as yet. There are more advanced rules. These are more advanced rules. You can leave them for now. When we study anything, we'll come back to all the rules again. So before I start, anybody has any question or anything they'd like to ask?
Umilaji, sometimes in the chart we see, conflicting or contradictory indications. For example, maybe the Bhava Lord is placed in a very good house, but it is with a difficult planet. So to interpret it, like, I know we need to use intuition and see the whole chart, but also is there a particular order? For example, this order of these 9 points that you have given, should we give more importance and go according to the order, or should we just use our intuition and see how it works with respect to the whole chart?
No, intuition comes with experience. So
Right.
you don't use your intuition, just you have to know the rule. And as you start looking at the chart, so you see house well placed, but it's got a problem. This is the main issue with Vedic astrologers, because you have to make sense of all contradictory aspects, and there's always contradictory aspects. So then that is where, looking at maximum number of charts and working with that is important. So we'll,
Through
there's,
experience.
yeah, it is experience really. 99% knowledge, 1% intuition. Once your knowledge becomes stronger, like I'm looking at a chart, I instantly know what it is meaning. But I've been experienced for 40 years. So when I started off, I couldn't make sense because it was all very gobbledygook and complicated. So that is the thing. So thank you, Shubha.
Thank you.
Anybody else? So now we start looking at the houses. So Tanu Bhava, it is known as the Lagna, rising sign or ascendant. Tanu means body. Lagna means a point of contact. It's a point where the eastern horizon and ecliptic meet at a given time. Lagna is in the birth chart when the soul contacts the earth, the moment of birth. So what we are seeing is, so for example, from where I am, I'm actually facing north in my room, and this side is east. I see every morning the sun rises. So that exact horizon on the east, that time is taken as the time of birth. But for a child to be born, the exact time of birth will be, is it the time when the umbilical cord is cut? Is it time when the head comes out of the mother's body? Or is it time when the first breath is taken? So according to the Vedic system, it should be the first breath, because that is when you breathe, when you're breathing independently, you are, alive. And then there's no breath at the end of life, then that is when you're dead. So the first breath is the time. It's almost impossible to think that we will have absolute perfect birth data, but if we have approximate, it gives a lot of information. But as you start getting into astrology, you have to encourage your friends and family to note down the time of birth. Some countries, they have it on the birth certificate, but not every country. Tanu Bhava will be the Rashi. Lagna will be the degree, the exact point of the Rashi. So you see, Tanu Bhava is the whole sign. The whole sign, if you are born like our sample chart Barack Obama, he's born with Capricorn Lagna. So that Capricorn will be the Tanu Bhava, the first house. But the Lagna or the ascendant will be the exact degree, exact moment of his birth. Tanu Bhava is a complete first house, whereas Lagna is a specific degree. Often these terms are interchangeable. We will just say, once you're an astrologer, you'll say Lagna is this. That means it is the first house. What does Tanu Bhava represent? The physical body, physique, complexion, appearance, personality, hair and its texture, the beginning of life's journey, nature of a person, their ability to enjoy life, what they want from life, to face negative periods of their life as well as the struggles. All beginnings of thoughts, ideas, projects, imagination, inspiration, courage, ability to lead, ambition, determination, and vitality. It also represents the intellect. This is the house of quality of life and the term of life longevity. Actually, the Tanu Bhava is most important house in the chart. It represents everything in a nutshell. Everything comes together. The first house deals with head, brains, and skull. So, this part of, sometimes it's the top part of the head. The whole of the body, weak and strong constitution, ability to withstand disease. The first house stands for the whole body, therefore the structure of the body, the skeleton. So you see, when we are looking at health of an individual, then the first house is very important, and what its ruler is doing, where it is placed, everything is studied. This is the most important bhava of the chart. All other bhavas have to be referenced from this. What is your lagna? Then everything else is reference from this. Karaka for Tanu Bhava is the sun. The location of the sun, aspects to the sun will indicate how the inner you will function. Sun is the Atma, the soul, your inner health and vitality. It indicates your physical health and vitality and ability to withstand disease. Those of you who have a strong sun in your chart, that is naturally, you have like a natural immune system, natural strong metabolism. It's a very good thing to have. But obviously not everybody can have that. But when we look at the Lagna Lord and then the Karaka, if all of them are strong, that means that you will naturally have a good health and good immune system. So then the nakshatra and navamsha, we also will study the rising nakshatra of the Lagna, Navamsha Lagna rising. These will be studied later in the course. See, the course also unfolds itself slowly, because as we learn the knowledge, we learn more stuff as well. Each Lagna has planets that do not work for them and others that work well. These are known as malefics and benefics for the Lagna. And we are going to talk about it in about 4 weeks time, because that is a lesson on the Lagna. So here we have now Barack Obama's chart. So what are we looking at his chart? His Tanu Bhava, the first house, is Capricorn. You can see here also, South Indian, North Indian is just a way of expressing itself. The number 10 doesn't mean 10th house, it means Capricorn. We know this house is the first house. And the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. He has Saturn in its own sign. That means he has a strong Saturn, and all the qualities of Saturn he will embody. hard work, responsibility, positive qualities, but maybe also some negative qualities, you know, seeing the half full, the um, glass half full, um, always thinking less is more, really. He's a Saturn personalities are more not so friendly. They can be cold. And people mentioned that about Barack Obama as well, that he was distant and cold. But here we see that Saturn has a line underneath it. It's retrograde. So what does retrograde Saturn do? Either work too hard or totally lazy. We know from evidence of about President Obama that he was very super hardworking. Jupiter is retrograde and debilitated in Capricorn. So that means that sometimes when debilitated planet is in the ascendant, it can affect health. But so far, I feel that we have not heard anything negative about President Obama's health. But this is something to watch for. And then Sun as a Karaka, he has Sun in Cancer, which is an average health. But the main factor about the Sun is in Cancer and its ruler Moon is exalted. That means that is adding to the strength of Cancer. So, this is sort of baby steps, beginning steps. As we go, there's always more and more information that gets added on to the chart. So let us look at a couple of charts from the class. And what we are going to do is that we are going to, over this whole class, we are going to look at all your charts as we go along. So here we have Atma Jyoti's chart, and she's also Capricorn ascendant. And you see her ascendant degrees 29 degrees 6 minutes. It's right at the end of Capricorn. And but the whole of Capricorn will be the first house. Now, somebody who has usually if a client comes to me with a late degree of ascendant, I'll always ask them, how good is your time of birth? Because 3-4 minutes, it could give Atma Jyoti an Aquarius ascendant. But we are not changing that. And that changes the quality flavor of the chart. Now, Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is in its own sign in Aquarius. That means this is a strong ascendant. It's a strong personality, but with the flavor of Saturn. Sun, the Karaka, is in Scorpio. Sun likes it, Mars is its friend. Sun likes being in Scorpio. This is the 11th house of profit. So house position is good. And so that can give a pretty good health overall. Generally, Capricorn is a little bit air element and a Vata type of person. So there can be anxiety energy that is there that one has to look at. So here we have Bindu, and Bindu has Cancer Lagna, and first house is Cancer as well. So what are the qualities of Cancer? It's nurturing, it's mothering, it's want to look after people. Cancer is also changeable, emotional. So all those things, quality will be there. Now, Jupiter is in the Lagna. That is always regarded as very positive. And not only Jupiter, it's exalted Jupiter in the ascendant. So she has a good tenant or good person living in the first house. This is a very positive aspect. And the ascendant ruler, Moon, is in Libra. So Libra is looking at harmony, balance. No planet is aspecting it, but there's no planet either side of the moon. So there can be some tendency to isolate yourself. Sun in Pisces, it's okay. Not the best, best is Aries, but Pisces is quite average or better than average sun position. But the fact that the ascendant ruler is in the first house, that is a very good aspect to consider. And so let's look at Jaja here. So now Jaja is a Leo Lagna, and Leo, of course, has two things, double responsibility, because Leo, the Lagna Lord, is also the Karaka for the first house. So here we see that Leo ascendant and ascendant ruler Sun is in Capricorn. It's close to Jupiter. So that is good for the sun. It is in Capricorn, also the sixth house. So when next week we'll study the sixth house. Usually sun does well in the sixth house, but sixth house is also the house of the enemy, the opposition. So sometimes competition as well. Sometimes it can make you very competitive. And so that is something to look for. So any transit in Capricorn affects you doubly, it affects you. So now we have Emma's chart here. Now, this is an interesting aspect, Aquarius. Whenever you see Aquarius, Aquarius has two rulers. One is Saturn and the second is Rahu. I always look at Saturn first and then Rahu second. And also if one of these two planets is with other planets, that planet gets emphasized. So in Emma's case, you can see Saturn is with Jupiter, Rahu is alone. So we would look at Saturn as the more important of the ascendant rulers. So here we get to know Aquarius. We looked at all the Rashis. Aquarius is alternative, different. They want to do things in a non-traditional way. Aquarius is also very air element sign, so they're easy to get anxious or nervous. And the Lagna Lord Saturn is placed in the eighth house. Eighth house is house of transformation and change. So it's possible that sometimes there are unexpected actions, results of your action, because you think I'm doing this and the result is different. Also, eighth house is linked to astrology and deep secret knowledge. So that may be of interest to you. So when we do eighth house, you pay attention to it. And then Rahu is on its own in the sixth house. Sixth house is house of competition. Rahu usually does very well in the sixth house. So competition, opposition, Rahu can fight anybody. So it's not a problem there. So what I want you to think, all of you to think, is how does that affect, how am I dealing with that energy? And we also look at the sun in Libra. So sun in Libra doesn't have so much energy because it is the debilitated sign of the sun. So you'd have to learn how to conserve your energy. It doesn't mean that you'll fall ill or anything, but it's just the vitality or energy. Sun in Libra is not the same as sun in Aries. So you do have to take care of that. So now we come to the second house, and so second house is Dhana Bhava. Dhana means wealth, wealth of mind, temperament, and money. Dhan Dhanya. that's how originally wealth and food. Originally, the wealth of people was dependent on agriculture, how much food they had, what they ate. And, you see that all the spiritual celebrations, whether it's Indian New Year or Chinese New Year or other New Year celebrations, Christmas, New Year. There's always a lot of food. There's a lot of, that's the way you show that you are wealthy. So the second house also deals with food and wealth. It's a house which we have no decisive control. There are situations we are born into rather than create. So, like if you're born into wealth, if you have good money, good finances. As part of my work, a lot of people ask me about money and finances. So, I'm all the time dealing with this issue in clients when people want to know about money. It is an Artha house, therefore career potential should be judged from here. It is a house often neglected in studying of professions. Politics, political talents can be identified, but Artha house also means that it's about wealth and wealth collection and your personal security. Because if you have in our world, if we have money and savings. Second house also will show the savings of an individual. So what are the important aspects of Dhana Bhava? Wealth or poverty? If one is there, the opposite can also be there. Savings, lack of savings, extended family relationships. Now, extended family is not your children, not your parents. They have separate houses to each other. So you're looking at other aspects, aunts, uncles, the bigger family. Speech, eyesight, vision, face, teeth, food we eat, early childhood. I've been suffering with the red eye. So now you want to know why the red eye. You can see the eyesight is connected to the second house. So right now, this last month, the eclipse was in my second house. So I could see the problem, but I still had to go through with it. Karakas for wealth, Jupiter for wealth is the main Karaka, but Mercury for speech, childhood, Venus for family, Sun and Moon for right and left eye. So generally what you see is that the second eye is eyes. And then you look at Sun for the right eye and Moon for the left eye. So you can look at specifics, and generally problem in children will be if children are wearing glasses or eye problem, you will see from the second house and Sun and Moon both. Goddess Lakshmi, wealth at birth or effortless acquisition. Expenses for good causes, fame, beauty, truthfulness, potential for lying. Because it deals with speech, how you speak. Death, family relationships, blood ties, creative potential, credit. Diseases to father, grandparents, gems, inheritance, jewels. Memory, public enemies, second marriage, death of marriage. It's not always death of spouse. These days, people's marriages end and they remarry. Education, learning, insight, clairvoyance, connection with past lives. Body parts, cheek, face, teeth, eyesight, right eye, tongue, chin. So you see this part of the face, eyes, even nose, you can say, teeth, tongue. So if the second house is affected either by naturally or by transit, you can have these problems. Not every problem, sometimes, one or the other. health issues, blindness, eye troubles, teeth problems, eating disorders. A lot of people consult with me regarding eating disorders, you know, and I see that the second house is the first thing I look at to see, how people are eating, what are their attitude to eating food. Remember, the wealth of the person was how much food they ate. That's why sometimes you see in the olden pictures, you're nice and fat, because that was indication of wealth. Nowadays, it's sort of super thin people, but that was not the original indication of health, of wealth, because if you were nice and fat means you had good food and good comforting food. So here we see in Barack Obama's chart, we can see that second house, Capricorn, Aquarius, sorry, ruled by Saturn or by Rahu. So both Saturn and Rahu have 2 planets each. So you can look at both. As I said, normally I look at Saturn first and Rahu. I never neglect either one. And Saturn is in its own sign, and it is in the Lagna. So for him, wealth is important. Speech is important. He is responsible. And usually Saturn ruling the second house will be a person of few words. They're not wastefully talking. Some people love talking a lot, but I'm sure. And then it is the other ruler, Rahu. Rahu can give a very dominating voice as well, strong voice. But it's in the 8th house. That means there's some unsettled money situation for Barack Obama. When he was born, he was not wealthy. He didn't have money. He didn't inherit money from his father, his mother. And Ketu is placed in the second house. Ketu sometimes doesn't care. And secondly, it can give very sarcastic, cutting, witty, amusing way of speaking. Ketu cuts. So if you have Ketu in the second house, how you speak can have a Ketu-ish flavor. And his early childhood, was very unsettled. So you can see that with Ketu in the second house, he may have felt unrecognized, and the Lord is also 8th house, change. So I'm just seeing. So here we have the chart. So this is Jennifer here. And what we see here is second house. Leo is in the second house. So generally Leo is the king. Sun is the king. So when Leo is in the second house, it shows some kind of wealth is there. And also Leo, as far as speech is concerned, you can have like a big, strong speech, king-like speech, and also food. You want to eat something grand and interesting. Usually this is like spicy food. That is what plenty of food. And the sun, the ruler of Leo, is placed in Taurus in the 11th house. 11th house is house of profit. When this indication is there in a chart, it shows money, because the second lord is in the 11th house of earning, and it is with the 11th house ruler Venus. So when we come to the 11th house, you'll get to know a little bit more. But generally, this shows a possibility of earning well. It's a money yoga or money possibility. Now, the Karaka Jupiter is in Virgo with Saturn. So sometimes Saturn is a little bit blocking Karaka, but it's in Virgo. So there's a practical attitude to money. Virgo is practical attitude to money. And third house is self-effort. So sometimes you make effort yourself, you can earn as well. But this definitely shows financial situation is quite okay. And so Zunze, here we see second house. No planet is there. And now second house ruler is Jupiter and Karaka is Jupiter. Now here we see Jupiter is got a line underneath retrograde. It's also in the third house. It means you're making money through self-effort. See, debilitated planet doesn't mean you don't have money. It just means that you're more practical about money. Jupiter in Capricorn is more practical. It can also show that you have to struggle to make money. It doesn't come naturally to you. So sometimes the struggle is there, and then you can develop and become stronger later on. And Levant here, Rahu is in the second house. Virgo is the sign here. So Virgo is very analytical. Rahu can give a big voice. Rahu in the second house also can give food habits. Rahu likes a lot of interesting spicy food, can like is not vegetarian generally by choice, but Rahu can also give a very dominating big voice. And Rahu is also interested in wealth and earning. So second house Rahu, all those things are considered. Remember, Rahu Ketu are like snake elements. So Rahu is like, snake can bite. So you have to be careful when you have Rahu in the second house that you don't suddenly say something negative to people. Then the ruler of the second house, Mercury, is in the fifth house. Fifth house is a positive position, but it's very close to the sun. That means that sometimes these financial issues can be dominated by the sun, which is father. Remember, Karaka, sun is father, could be boss, but it can also show your ability to earn through creative means, through ideas, creativity. And then Jupiter, which is the Karaka for money, is in the 11th house. So I feel that there is some aspect that you're good with money. One other factor in Levant's chart is that the second house and 11th house, these are two rulers for money. They are placed in the fifth house, and here we see Mercury and Sun. Sun is the Lagna Lord, Mercury is the money planet. They are both together in the fifth house. So even though Mercury is very close to the Sun, they are tight. So that means that there's some strength of financial aspect that is there. So anybody has any questions? I noticed that Myra had a question. Let me just look at your question. Can the aspect of Ketu to second house have the same effect on speaking? It can have a little bit, sometimes you'll suddenly say something sarcastic or funny. And secondly, if you have it, then you have to see, do I do that? So you can see that. Any questions, anybody?
Just a thought that Johnny Depp has Mars in the second house and K2 also aspecting. And he was also known to have very vulgar speech.
Yeah, Mars is angry, and Ketu can be Ketu is something different. Actually, we are going to look at Johnny Depp's chart next week. So you can look at his speech. And they used to also, angry, he used to fight as well. See, when you study the houses, it's fascinating how the personality comes alive. And especially regarding famous people, you may read something about them, and then you have a chart and say, like Myra was talking about Johnny Depp, then you can see in his chart, is that true? Is that how he behaves? Because you can see what is there. And now we come to the third house, Bhratru Bhava. Bhatru means a brother. Third house is related to brothers and siblings. It is also the house of deliberate self, of being yourself. It's the house of action where we take actions for which we are ultimately responsible. It's also the house of initiative. Now, when I'm doing a consultation, especially here, I live in the West, I don't much talk about brothers and sisters because people don't relate to them as much as, say, in India, brothers and sisters are very important. And they also form your support element. So they give you courage to act or do things. But whenever I don't talk, then the people will always ask me, I'm not getting along with my brother or sister, or we have to buy inherited a property together, what to do. So, you have to see according to what we are. And especially the Bhatrubhava, it also represents other things, how we communicate, our immediate environment, our colleagues and friends. Other names for Bhatrubhava is Sahaja, brother, co-born, Vikrama, brave, Virya, all-conquering, Dharya, firmness, strength, calmness. So all emphasize bravery and courage. So if there is courage, you will also see lack of courage. Third house is a Kama Bhava. It shows our passions are reflected here, desire to join with another, to have relationships, be creative comes from here. Important aspects, deliberate self-confidence, courage, lack of it, how we communicate, writing, journalism. See, the third house writing is like factual writing. So because third house represents the hand, what you use your hand to do as well. Materialism, friendship, brothers, sexual acts, secondary house of longevity. Karaka for Bhatrubhava, Mars for courage, brothers, siblings, blood relationships. So who you're related to by blood. Mercury for communication, neighbors, neighboring countries, short journeys. So the various aspects of Bhatrubhava, writing, communication, courage, stamina, strength, television, telephone, siblings. In the siblings, the eldest one is represented by the 11th house. Younger brothers and siblings are with the third house. Research, changes in residence, railway, radio, publication, yogic meditation, pranayama. You see, each house can represent hundreds of things. Therefore, we don't look at everything at the same time. But if you want to look at something, then you know which house to look at. And research, preaching, lower mind, more materialistic mind. It's about ego. Third house is I want to do this. Accountancy, books, mental agility, memory. short journeys, transports used for short journeys like buses, railways, cycles, neighbors, neighboring countries. Negative Bhatru represents lack of confidence, cowardliness, inability to communicate, lack of friends, mental weakness, lack of focus and of life. Throat, neck, chest, shoulders, upper ribs, right ear. These are the body parts: collarbone, nervous system, thymus gland, trachea, esophagus, hands and arms. Actually, any air problems you'll see with the third house, anything with hands and arms, health issues, tuberculosis, asthma, cough, hearing troubles, ear infection. I was thinking anything to do with shoulders or anything to do with arms. If your arm is broken, then which house will you look at? You have to see that from. I don't know, is somebody calling in the class? So here is Barack Obama's question, and Bindu has a question that if the house has no planet, it's still important because every planet has a ruler. And every house has a ruler, every house has a Karaka. And Barack Obama has no real brothers and sisters. Below him, he has half brothers and sisters, quite a few in Kenya, as well as from mother and father's side both. But here what you can see is that the third house, no planet is placed there. Ruler, Jupiter, is debilitated in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very studied, he must be thinking, doing things after great thought and understanding. Nothing is done impulsively. If this was Aries, it would be more impulsive. Pisces, also very idealistic, but the ruler, Jupiter, is in the Lagna and it is with Saturn. So there's a lot of deliberation before he does anything. Karaka Mars, where you are seeing Karaka for siblings, you can see it's in the 8th house. So 8th house usually will not show, it shows some problem regarding siblings. So he didn't have any real siblings, but also Mars is in Leo. So Leo is a warrior. Mars in Leo is very strong. And Barack Obama never shied away from competition. He was very, combative also during his presidency. He oversaw many wars. He was not afraid of that. So that is something that you can see in the chart. And so here we see Lu is here, and third house, Ketu and Jupiter are placed there. You see, with Ketu, it's very interesting. Ketu is very alternative, different. Regarding siblings are concerned, because Ketu has some karmic influence, you could say that whether you have or not, it's something that is beyond our human control. Normally, Jupiter in the third house will indicate desire for siblings. Ketu, but third house also represents, people of your own age. So even if you don't have siblings, you may have friends of your own age or similar interests, like we are doing astrology. So astrology, brethren. Jupiter Ketu is together here. Jupiter is your Lagna Lord in the third house. So you're definitely thinking in a Jupiter way. Ketu, alternative things, astrology, spirituality, that is very important for you. Aquarius, how do you act out Aquarius? It's a very deliberate aspect of Aquarius. Aquarius is very alternative. Ruler Saturn, you can see quite clearly here. Saturn is with 4 planets. So Saturn would get more dominance than Rahu. So Saturn in the 4th house, Saturn is also in a planetary war. It's very close to Mercury. So sometimes this can mean that you're conflicted about what you want to do, where you want to go. And 4th house is also connected to property. Rahu, the other rulers in the 9th house of study and gaining knowledge. So that is an aspect that you would look at. Then so Lynn here, 3rd house, no planet there, doesn't matter. 3rd house rulers placed in the 9th house of Dharma. So this is a very good position because your focus, your ego, your everything's about study, knowledge, good luck. So next week or week after, when we do the house of Dharma, you can understand that. This should usually give siblings, but Karaka Mars is in the 6th house, so and with Ketu. So therefore, there's a big distance between them, but is a possibility that the 6th house, there could be some obstacles, either in the relationship with siblings or having siblings. So then the next house that we are looking at is the 4th house. And the 4th house is Matri Bhava. Matri Bhava, Matri means mother. Mother reflects our previous karma. The kind of mother we have, our relationship with her are all part of our past life. A good maternal relationship is a blessing. Uh, 4th house is intimately connected to the cosmic depths of Hiranyagarbha and our past lives. Mother, aspiration, comforts, well-being are due to Sanchita karma collected from our past lives. It's a moksha bhava. So the search of self-realization begins here. Initially, the soul searches for happiness from material things, but if it understands the importance of inner happiness, then they truly begin to find themselves. Important aspects of Matru Bhava, mother, emotions, minds, happiness, contentment, sukha, fixed assets like house, cars, real estate, marital home, politics, education. Karaka for Matrubhava, moon is the important Karaka for mother, emotions and mind. Actually, 4th house is very important house. First is self, 4th is your happiness, sukha, but lot of practical things as well. Venus, Jupiter for sukha, Venus for cars, Saturn for property, Mars for construction, Mercury for education. Actually, both Saturn and Mars represent real estate. So when you're looking at property buying, you have to see their quality as well. Matrubhava represents happiness, inner desires. Problems with 4th house can lead to problems in marriage, as a happy home is vital for marriage. Peace of mind, sense of well-being, fame, masses, politics, intelligence, comfort, education, fixed assets like property, homes, land, farm, orchards, mines, other immovable possessions, and then movable possessions like that, cars, vehicles, transport, tractors. I found I've lived in many countries and bought and sold many houses. And I find very often when I'm thinking about buying a house, I'm also thinking about a car because they both belong to the same house. Negative for Matrubhava, mental problems, lack of education or break in education, unhappiness in marriage, general unhappiness. The Sanskrit word is dukha, discontentment, difficult relationship with mother, body parts, arteries, lungs, elbow joints, breasts, heart problems. You'll see fourth and fifth house. And health issues, heart problems, mental stress, lung diseases, disease of the chest, breast cancer, depression. I don't look at health astrology unless somebody comes to me, they say, I have this problem, then I will look at it. I will not tell somebody that this is a problem. But quite often people talk about depression or they talk about some issue, then you know where to look for. So this is Barack Obama. Now, again, he has no planet. That doesn't mean that he's not happy or but here we see two contrary aspects. His Lord of the fourth house is placed in the eighth house. So this shows maybe he had an unsettled home life. And you can see many houses, even though one of them was the White House. He was born somewhere, then he lived with his mother in Indonesia, then with his grandmother in Hawaii, then he moved to New York and Chicago, and then White House, and now somewhere else. So that can just show an unsettled home life, but also his relationship with his mother. Fourth house in the eighth, which is a difficult house. We'll come to that. That means that mother was, she remarried. She was living in Indonesia. He was living with his grandparents. So you can see that. But the Karaka moon is very strong. It's exalted, it's in a good house position. So he managed to resolve that issue in his mind. So it's very important to look at the Karaka as well. And we are just going to look at Mary. So here we see Mary has Scorpio in the fourth house, Mercury. Mercury is a benefic planet. So having in the fourth house generally will give a happy disposition. However, what you see here is fourth house ruler is in the second house with Saturn. Second house, fourth house ruler in the second. Remember, second is Dhana Bhava, wealth. So she could have earned money from property, from transport, but normally I would say property because fourth house is property, and Mars Saturn also, they're both connected to property, and they are in the second house. Second house is house of wealth. So there's possibility of home. And then Mercury is generally very happy, interested in education, learning, and Karaka for the fourth house, moon. Moon is in Libra with Venus. So moon itself is not in a difficult position. But if we see the lordship of moon of the fourth house, Mars is with Saturn. So there could be, sometimes when you say problem with mother, it could be that mother herself is having problems, not you have a problem. But Mary has something very nice in this chart, is that Mars is in Virgo, Mercury is in Scorpio. So the second and fourth house are exchanging. And that can be good for financial aspect as well. It's a yoga, astrology yoga that we'll study later in the class. And Myra, we see here, fourth house, no planet placed there. Fourth house ruler, Jupiter's in its own sign. So that is a good news for fourth house. That means Jupiter Sagittarius is there, but Jupiter is in full dignity. And so that can show generally happy disposition, good aspect with home, mother, cars, transport, all sorts of things that fourth house represents. However, the Karaka for the fourth house moon is with Mars. So Mars can sometimes have anger issues and things, but there's quite a distance there. And Mars's moon is in Libra. So you are seeking balance and harmony. Those are the most important factors here. Before I talk to you, there's a mini assignment that you don't have to send to me, but it is something that you can do yourself. And that is that you can learn all the Sanskrit names for the 12 houses. So like first house is Tanu Bhava, and learn all the Sanskrit names. Do not send to me or to Keiko or to Shivani, anybody. And so learn the names. This is just for your own self-study practice. So any questions, any comments? Okay. Thank you very much. Namaste.